The lotus is in every Indian home, every puja, every wedding, every temple. But nobody asks the obvious question. The lotus grows in mud, sits in water all day, and not a single drop ever sticks to it. Why? In 1977, a German botanist finally measured the answer and accidentally proved that the Bhagavad Gita had been right for 5,000 years. Chapter 5, verse 10 of the Bhagavad Gita says this: "The one who performs duties without expectation of reward will not be touched by the consequences of action, just as water does not cling to a lotus leaf." Padma-patram ivambhasa. 5 Sanskrit words, an entire philosophy of work, compressed into one biological metaphor. Wilhelm Barthlott was a botanist at the University of Bonn. In 1977, he put lotus leaves under an electron microscope for the first time. What he saw changed material science permanently. The surface was not smooth. It was covered in microscopic wax crystals, forming thousands of tiny spikes, invisible to the naked eye. He called this structure superhydrophobic. He called what it does the lotus effect. Here is the physics. When a water droplet lands on a normal surface, it spreads out. It wets the surface. It sticks. When it lands on a lotus leaf, it touches only the tips of the nanostructures. The contact area is less than 3% of the droplet's surface. Surface tension does the rest. The droplet forms a perfect sphere and rolls off, taking every particle of dust and dirt with it. The lotus leaf does not repel water. Its structure makes adhesion impossible. The contact angle on a lotus leaf is 160 degrees. Normal surfaces sit between 0 and 90 degrees. Water clings. Above 150 degrees, nothing can stick. Barthlott's discovery launched an entire industry: waterproof clothing, self-cleaning glass, anti-icing aircraft coatings, surgical tools that resist contamination. All from studying one plant that the Gita had already named as the model for the perfect human being. Now here is what the Gita is actually saying in chapter 5, verse 10. The lotus does not avoid water. It lives in water. It does not run from its environment. It is fully immersed, and yet nothing clings. This is not Sanyasa, the path of renunciation, running away from the world. This is Karma Yoga, the path of full engagement with the world. Acting completely, caring completely, but structurally built so that outcomes cannot stick. You know this feeling from the opposite direction. You submitted the appraisal report. Now you cannot sleep. You gave the board presentation. Now you are replaying every slide. Your child wrote the JEE exam. Now the entire family is in suspended anxiety. The work is done. The action is complete. But the outcome has completely soaked into you. You are wet. The lotus would not be. Gita Chapter 2, verse 47. The most famous line Krishna ever said: "You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions." Every Indian has heard this. Most dismiss it as religious advice, but read it as a performance instruction. The research on this is unambiguous. Attachment to outcome degrades the quality of the action itself. The anxiety about the result is actively making you worse at producing the result. Sports psychologists call this paralysis by analysis. When an athlete thinks about winning while playing, performance drops. When they are completely absorbed in the action itself, performance peaks. This state is called flow by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. The Gita calls it Nishkama Karma, desireless action. Same state. One describes the neuroscience. One describes the philosophy. The lotus leaf understood this before either of them. Now here is the critical distinction the Gita makes. The lotus does not try to repel water. It does not make an effort to stay dry. Its nanostructure, built over millions of years, does it automatically. You cannot force detachment. You cannot decide to stop caring about results. Willpower against attachment always loses. What you can do is build the internal structure that makes attachment less possible. That structure is practice. Abhyasa. Exactly what chapter 6 describes. The lotus grows in mud. It does not need clean water to stay clean. The environment cannot corrupt it because the structure prevents contact. Most people wait for the right conditions before they act without attachment. Right boss. Right project. Right recognition. The Gita says build the nanostructure first. The environment becomes irrelevant after that. Barthlott spent years studying why the lotus stays clean. He did not expect to build an industry. He was just studying a plant. But the biology led him to applications worth billions. The Gita spent 5,000 years teaching humans to stay clean in the mud of life. Not as spirituality, as a structural engineering problem. Build the right internal surface, and outcomes like water will have nowhere to cling. Do your work completely. Give the presentation. Study for the exam. Build the company. But do not let the outcome soak into your identity. The appraisal result is not you. The exam score is not your child. The quarterly number is not your worth. Do the work like a lotus in water. Fully immersed. Completely clean. The Bhagavad Gita built this entire philosophy around one leaf. That should tell you everything about how seriously it takes your performance.